welcome back. If you don't know me, welcome. On Thursday, August 4th, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts, the tragedy of the Lizzie Borden murders went down in that house. If you are not familiar already with Lizzie Borden, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some quick background. Apparently, many people believe her to be the murderer of her stepmom, and her dad, using a hatchet or an axe to axe them to death. So basically, apparently, her alibi was that she was in the kitchen ironing her handkerchiefs, but nobody saw her ironing her handkerchiefs. And after that, she decided to go outside to the barn and pick pears and go and eat the pears in the barn. Okay, but a little bit before all that happened, her family was going through food poisoning, but her mom thought that somebody was trying to poison her, like trying to poison their family from their milk delivery. So she went to the doctor without her father's permission with Lizzie, and apparently they did not have food poisoning. They did not get poisoned. They had food poisoning, so everybody was sick. Apparently, that day, her mom got called out of town because of something that was going on with her friend, so she got called out of town. But she said that before she was going to go, she apparently came back and took a nap. And then Lizzie came home, and apparently she was ironing her handkerchief sitting at the dining room table when her dad came in and said that he was tired from work and still getting over food poisoning. He decided to go take his last nap on the couch. Her alibi, though, was proven to be wrong, as nobody saw her ironing her handkerchiefs. So she goes to go pick the pears. The maid of the house was outside washing the windows. Now, her alibi was proven to be correct because she actually made friends with the next door neighbor's maid as well. And every time that she would go outside to wash the windows, they would have a little chat. They would talk. So her alibi was proven correct as she was the maid's witness. Now, when all that happened, apparently apparently the maid came back into the house and saw her father axed to death on the couch. Actually, it might have been Lizzie that found him. It was Lizzie. Okay, yeah, because after the maid was done washing the window, she goes upstairs and takes a nap. I forgot about that part. That's my fault. So she goes up and takes a nap. She comes into the room and finds her father laying down on the couch with his face brutally axed up, and apparently she screams for the maid to come down. The maid comes down and see what's happened, and they all start running around and freaking out. So basically, Lizzie, not really knowing what to do, goes outside and calls out to her neighbor and says that her father is dead. This neighbor is very nosy, so she comes over, and when she comes over, everybody comes over. So at this point, they all come over, and one neighbor goes to go get to borrow a phone from somebody else because obviously Lizzie's dad, he had a lot of money, but he was very stingy and didn't want to spend money on anything that he didn't have to. So he did not buy a phone. So she went to go and call the police department. The Fall River PD took over 30 minutes to reply to this call because on that day, August 4th, 1892, was their Fall River PD picnic. So once they finally get there, they kick everybody out and they do witnesses. Apparently, everything pointed towards Lizzie as her alibi was proven incorrect as nobody saw her ironing her handkerchiefs at the kitchen table. But during that time, her uncle, John, was also staying in the house with her family. And apparently, Uncle John was also one that most likely maybe did the murders. But what's a little weird is his alibi was actually proven correct. His alibi was that he was taking the train car, and he memorized the 6 Catholic priests' names that he was with. He was not Catholic, by the way, so that's very weird. And he memorized the train car number that he was on and the badge number of the conductor, which is very weird because who would memorize that in a maybe 15-minute train car ride? Who would memorize all that? But when the police department went to find and stalk down the guys that he stated, first and last name of the Catholic priest that he stated, the car number and the conductor, everything proved back to be correct, that all the priests said, oh yeah, he's the guy that asked me my name on the train car. So his alibi was proven to be correct, but many things still point back to it being John. It could not have been the maid, because she was outside washing the windows, and her alibi was proven correct because her friend, the next door neighbor's maid, always comes out and have a little chat with her, and she saw her walk up to her bedroom and go to sleep. There we go. Her alibi was proven correct. Lizzie's was the only one that was proven incorrect, which is why everything has led back to her. Do we know if she was the one that did it? No. We don't. We don't even have a murder weapon. We literally have nothing to close this case. This case is never going to be closed. It's constantly going to be open. Nothing states back to who actually committed the murders. Most things state back to Lizzie Borden herself. But is that correct? We do not 100% know. After the bodies were both found, they did an autopsy of the dad right away on the couch. But everybody was like, where is her stepmom? Where's Lizzie's stepmom? Where's Lizzie's and Abby's stepmom? Where's Lizzie and Abigail's stepmom? Is that her name? I think so. Abby. Where's Lizzie and Abby? Okay. So they go upstairs. The neighbor and her go upstairs to try to find their stepmom. They go up. They look over and they see her stepmom also axed to death on the floor behind the bed. So as you walked up to about the 7th or 8th step, if you looked over to your left, you could see her bleeding out on the floor. They go up there and she is also proven dead with a big pool of blood around her head. So she was brought down onto the kitchen table or the dining room table to have her autopsy done. After the first autopsy, it was proven that they were killed about 90 minutes apart, which is very weird because why would a killer come in, kill one, and wait 90 minutes to kill the next, knowing that they could be caught? I don't know. Where would they hide in the house? I don't know. But something happened, and they were killed 90 minutes apart, okay? So basically, after all of that happened, they decided, you know what? Lizzie is going to get called into court as a suspect. So she goes in for her trial, and she gets proven not guilty of the case. So her being proved not guilty as the case throws her off to the side, even though many people still believe it was her that did it. That's why it is called the Lizzie Borden murders. Now, did she do it? No one knows. Do we have a murder weapon? No. So we don't really know for sure who did it or what did it. So yeah. But they decided to do a second autopsy after the funerals of the father and stepmother. So after the funerals, they decapitated their heads and took their heads, and the doctor boiled them in his family pot that he cooks food in to melt the flesh off, because apparently he can do that, and then he sends it off to Harvard to get tested. I guess. I don't know, like a deeper autopsy or something to test anything. What they learned from that was nothing more than what you already knew. They didn't get any new information from that. And the only reason why they did that was for the shock value, because at court, during Lizzie's trial, they decided to pull out these skulls of her father and of her mother. Along first time seeing her father's skull, she fainted and they could not do it, so they had to postpone. She was moved to another room where she could not see anything, but she could still hear it. And after that, they tried again a couple months later, successful of showing off these skulls for shock value. Now, if you really get what I'm saying here, basically, they did not need to do that at all. They did not need to get the skulls. They did it for shock value purposes only. That's the only reason why they did that to Lizzie, stepmom, and father. That's the only reason why they did it, was for the shock value of it, which I think is stupid. But to this day, no one knows the murder weapon or who did it. Yes, most things lead back to either Uncle John or Lizzie, even though they were both proven innocent. We are now in the basement of the house. So let's see if we can find anything on the thermal camera. Okay. So honestly, probably not. I wouldn't really doubt it. This is not mine, by the way. This is just something that they gave us at check-in. Oh my god, something's happening upstairs. So it looks like I'm probably not going to find anything with the...
Oh no, you're a ghost.
So this is the seance room where the past owners used Ouija boards. Okay, so it doesn't seem like I'm getting much in here. Here's a representation of the skulls. So that's something. I mean, the basement's pretty cool. The Conjuring basement was way more active, though. Okay, wait, so now if we ask it yes or no questions, it should go off.
Yeah.
See? Said yeah. What should we ask it? Oh, okay. Hi. Are we talking to an original spirit of the house?
Oh my god.
No. Okay, so it's not an original spirit of the house that we're talking to. You just walked right in front of my video. Okay, yeah, so it's saying yes to not being an original spirit. Is anybody named Abby or Andrew here?
You probably wait till the light goes out.
Well,
Do you hear that?
It doesn't talk.
You don't hear it?
No, it just said it doesn't talk. Is anybody named... See? It agreed with me. Is anybody... No, it did not agree with me.
This, I think this said something about agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Hold on. Okay, now ask.
No.
It doesn't like you.
What do you mean? Oh my god. Who is it?
Who is it?
No, you keep talking over it.
Changing the tone.
No, it's not changing. Is there anybody named Abby? Okay, that is really annoying. Yes and no.
Oh my god.
That was a music channel. You connected to a channel.
It's on AM.
Yes, I know. You still can connect to radio channels even if you're on AM. No, you're literally ruining. You walked right in front of my video. Man.
You're ruining my fun.
Is Lizzie in the house with us? Is Lizzie in the house with us tonight? Yes.
Yeah, we were upstairs and we were chilling and what was it called? A wuss.
Okay, so before I go ahead and show you guys what has been renamed the kids' room, let me go ahead and tell you what it means by the kids' room. So if you guys know, there is no kids involved in the case of the Borden murders. But little do most people not know, right next to the Borden house there, it's called Lizzie's Coffee or something like that. Lizzie Borden's Coffee, something like that. It's basically like a coffee shop where you can go in. There's like a bunch of gift shops and stuff. But about 40 years before the Lizzie Borden murders, there was a girl married into the Borden family. She had 3 kids. She took one night, she had about a, what was it? It was a 5-year-old, an 8-month-old, and I think like a 3-year-old, something around those ages. Maybe it was like 7 instead of 5. I don't know, something around those ages, okay? And she was going through what was called postpartum depression. But back then, no one really took that into serious consideration. No one really knew that existed. So one night, she took her 3 kids down into the basement in this house. Yes, they lived there when this all happened. It was not a coffee shop back then. Okay, she took her 3 kids down into the basement of this coffee shop or their house at the time, and she drowned them in the well. The 2 youngest ended up passing away, but the oldest ended up climbing out and somehow surviving and ended up living as much of a normal life as you can after what she went through. Her mom, after dumping them in the well, walked around to the chimney and slit her throat with with her husband's straight razor, basically committing suicide after what she had done. Now, in a corner of the Borden house in the basement, it is known to be a very sorrowful spirit that we believe to be the mother that killed her 3 little kids, trying to get closer and get back into contact with them, as they have now moved themselves to being into the Borden house, as they somehow feel connected and safe with the spirits inside the Borden house. Maybe because the father and the mother were also murdered. You know, I don't really know. But basically, they move themselves up into one of the top rooms on the 3rd floor, 2 rooms down from the maid's room at the way into the hallway. That is what is known as the kids' room. It is one of the most active rooms, and that's where I happen to get most of my activity was definitely in the kids' room. So, yeah, that's basically a little background on how the kids got there, because most people overlook that when they think of Lizzie Borden. They do not think of that case, but that case really draws into the house with the kids in the kids' room. Okay, so now I'm using this device, and as you can see, it blinks yes or no to questions that I'm going to be asking it about everything. Yes, about everything that happened. Okay, if there's anybody here with me right now,
Just answer the question. No. She said, is anybody here right now? The answer is no.
no,
This doesn't make any sense.
there's nobody here right now.
We do have a couple of jokesters downstairs.
Are you an original spirit of the house? No. No.
Definitely not as active when.
No, just no.
For about an hour.
Yeah, and
And
it
it
was
was just
going on.
crazy going off. Like talk.
Can you make my thing go to red?
And I was asking kind of the same questions. You and Andrew and Abby still here, spirits? And I said, yes. And like, how many spirits are in the house? Two. It's like, no.
No, you can't make it go to red.
Just said six.
Now it says six.
Yes or no.
Yeah.
You're just throwing numbers out.
See?
It does take a while to turn off. Can you turn on my cat ball? Can you turn on the red ball that's right here? Can you touch it? No. No.
And sometimes you just get rid of the white noise.
Do you want to talk?
The other people. You can hear it clear.
No.
But you
Without the white noise, yeah. Yeah, you can.
You.
I don't.
Okay. So we're gonna be using this box again, and we're gonna ask it some questions about what went down in this house. Are you an original spirit of the house? So are you a Borden?
That was crazy.
What is this thing?
You are a
So
Borden?
you're supposed to hear upstairs.
Are you Lizzie Borden? Am I talking to Lizzie Borden? Okay. Were you convicted not guilty of the crimes?
That's how I feel. Why can't I listen?
Because I'm recording.
Oh my god. Maybe you'll be the one that goes get this out. To you.
This one said.
Spirits can't save you.
No and yes? Okay.
No, it said I'm off.
Yes.
There was when I was down there.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I was waiting for a second one.
Yes. Are you in this room with me right now as we're talking?
You hear what that just said?
Are you in the same room as me right now?
God. Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yes. Are you?
Do most of the Bordens still haunt this house? Yes and no. Okay, is that a maybe? Like some of them do?
Oh.
Okay. Do ghosts that do not have any connection to this house randomly come through? Yes. Does this house feel homey to you?
Yeah.
Do you like to be here?
That was weird.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Can you protect us tonight and keep us safe?
No, you good night.
Good night.
Sorry?
No,
Oh, I have no idea.
You good, sorry?
Yes,
You have a
thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Yeah, there's one.
Yes and no. Yes. Okay.
Where's the room?